Have you ever just looked at a Chinese character and thought, how on earth could anyone possibly learn thousands of these? I mean, it seems like such a monumental task. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify exactly how it's done, from a child's very first stroke to mastering thousands of characters. So let's dive in and break down how this incredible feat of memory actually happens.
So, first things first, let's get to the question that's probably on your mind. With a writing system this complex, is it just a total struggle? Do little kids in China actually cry when they're faced with learning all of this? It's a question that gets right to the heart of the challenge.
And the answer? Oh, you bet they do. A resounding yes. As one person perfectly put it, we cried, we struggled, we threatened to become farmers. It's this shared universal struggle, a rite of passage that, involves some tears, but every kid ultimately gets through it.
All right, so where does this whole journey even begin? Well, it starts super early, and believe me, the learning curve ramps up fast. You can think of it like building a great wall of knowledge, one single character at a time.
So get this, by the end of first grade, when kids are just 6 or 7 years old, they're expected to not just recognize, but actually write around 100 of the simplest characters. Things like one, person, or big. So at first it feels pretty manageable, right? But this is where the sheer scale of the challenge really hits you. By the time they finish primary school at age 12, that number just explodes to 2,500 characters. Yep, 2,500. That's the benchmark for basic literacy, and you better believe they're tested on all of them. The whole process is actually structured a lot like an RPG. Seriously. You master the simple characters first, your level 1 stuff, and that unlocks the harder challenges. You're just constantly leveling up your skills as the characters you have to face get more and more complex. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how on earth do kids handle this massive amount of information? How do they connect these complicated shapes to sounds? Well, it turns out they have a secret weapon, a really clever system that's basically like training wheels for reading.
And that secret weapon is called Pinyin. Now, a lot of people think Pinyin is just for foreigners learning Chinese, but it's actually a fundamental tool for native-speaking kids too. It uses the Latin alphabet, the one we're all familiar with, to teach them how to pronounce a character they've never even seen before. It's brilliant. And you can see here how it works. They gradually phase it out. So in first grade, every single character in a textbook has Pinyin written right above it. That's full support. Then, by third grade, it's only there for the new or really tricky words. And by the time they hit sixth grade, the training wheels are completely off. Students are expected to read the characters all on their own.
All right, so that's reading. But what about writing? Because let's be honest, this is often the hardest part. How do you possibly commit thousands of these intricate designs to muscle memory? Well, it turns out there are 3 key methods that every Chinese student knows intimately. First up, we've got the most famous, or maybe infamous, method, pure brute force repetition. I'm talking about those special gridded notebooks, where kids have to fill square after square after square with the exact same character, sometimes dozens of times. It's painful for sure, but you know what? It works.
And of course, all that practice comes with supervision. This quote just perfectly captures that classic piece of parental feedback. This looks like it was written by a chicken's foot. It's funny, but it really shows you how much cultural importance is placed on writing characters neatly and correctly. But it's not just random scribbling. You can't just draw these characters any way you want. No way. There's a super strict universal system called stroke order. Every single line is drawn in a very precise sequence. For example, to write the character for return, you have to draw the outer box first, then the inner part, and only then do you draw the final line to close it up. And this isn't just about being neat. It's the key to writing quickly, efficiently, and, in a way that other people can actually read.
Thankfully, it's not all just grinding and rote memorization. The third method is way more creative, using stories. Teachers and parents create these little mnemonics by combining simpler characters. So, for example, you take the character for person and you add the character for mountain. Put them together and you get the character for fairy. And the story makes it stick. A person living all alone on a mountain? They must be an immortal fairy. See? It totally transforms an abstract shape into a story you can actually remember.
Okay, so that's how the skill is built, through repetition, rules, and stories. But how does this ancient practice of writing by hand hold up in our modern world of smartphones and keyboards? And this brings us to a really fascinating modern dilemma.
The ultimate test of a student's knowledge has always been dictation, or Tīngxiě. And it's as simple as it is brutal.
The teacher reads words or sentences out loud, and the students have to write down the exact characters from pure memory. If you make one tiny mistake, you might have to write it out another 20 times. It is the stuff of nightmares for so many students.
But look at today. In the digital age, a whole new reality has popped up. Instead of writing everything out by hand, most of the time people just type. And when you type, all you have to do is enter the Pinyin, and then you just pick the right character from a list. You don't actually have to recall every single stroke from memory anymore.
And this has led to a really interesting modern problem, something people call character amnesia. Because we all rely so much on our keyboards and phones, the ability to actually write characters by hand is starting to fade. People can still recognize and read them perfectly fine, but if you ask them to write one from scratch, they might just draw a total blank.
And this leaves us with a huge, thought-provoking question for our time. In an age totally dominated by keyboards and autocorrect, is the art of writing these characters by hand, this painstaking skill, is it still worth saving? It's a real debate, pitting tradition against technology, and it forces all of us to think about what it really means to be literate in the 21st century.